Hey guys, so in today's video I wanted to show you how to crochet a unicorn macaroon pillow. I actually made this week and I think it turned out so adorable. But before we get started, I do want to talk about a couple of things. So if you'd like to go ahead and skip on to the tutorial, you can do that. But I wanted to tell you that I actually attempted this project last year and this is how it turned out. I think it looks so hilarious because of this hair and how the mouth turned out. But my issue last year was I could not get the nostril to look right on this. I don't know why, but I just couldn't. And with this project, I did actually stitch this on, but for some reason, when it came to this one, it didn't look right. So this is hot glued gun on. So if you can't stitch it, you will need a hot glue gun. And I just wanted to show you, how my crocheting has changed and how, if you can't get it right the first time, you can always go back and try it again later. Oh, on this one, it is obviously a macaroon, and then this one, it's not because it's just a little bit, if you want to do this one to make it a little bit easier on yourself, you can go ahead and do that. I'll let you know how to do that during the tutorial. But yeah, I won't be doing the blush on this one. I just felt like it was a little bit too much because all the flowers up here. But yeah, this is how my before and after looks. A year difference. Okay, so what I used is a 5.5mm crochet hook and my stitch marker, and then of course you'll need the hot glue gun if you can't stitch it, and some scissors. And for the yarn, this one is the Super Saver yarn, so it's not like, as you can tell, it's not perfectly white, but it's fine. And then this is 1 pound yarn. This one is sugar and cream, so it doesn't matter, just whatever yarn you like. And then we'll go ahead and get started. So to start off, you will need to know how to create a magic circle. And because this video is going to take a little bit longer, I won't show you that in this video. I do have a separate video if you don't know how to do the magic circle. But to start off, we will do our magic circle and then we're going to chain 1. And this is the only time we're going to be chaining 1 during this project. So once you end off this round, it's just going to be going into the next stitch for the round. So after you chain your 1, you're going to single crochet into the circle 10 times. A single crochet is going to be going into the circle and grabbing that yarn through. So you're going through both this string and the circle, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through. So that is 1 single crochet. I'll do that one more time. So now I'll just finish off with 8 more single crochets to end up with a total of 10 in round 1. I currently have 5 single crochets in my circle, but I wanted to show you how to make it a little bit easier when you're crocheting into this. Once it gets a little bit too much to handle, you can go ahead and pull this string and it will just tighten up the circle, and then you'll finish off to make it easier. So I can just crochet and it's working in a smaller circle. I currently have 10 single crochets, but I wanted to show you that when you slip stitch into your stitch, you're not going to be going into this first one because that is that chain 1 you made. You're actually going into that next stitch right here. And to slip stitch, you just want to pull the string through both loops. And then this is where you're going to be placing your stitch marker. So that is the end of round 1. Now for round 2, we're going to be increasing into each stitch. So an increase is just 2 single crochets into the stitch. So that's 1 and 2 into that same stitch. So what you're going to be doing is increasing through the whole round until you end up with 20 stitches in total for round 2. Okay, so once you finish round 2, remember you end up with a total of 20 stitches. Now moving on to round 3, all you're going to be doing is single crocheting throughout the entire round, so you will still end up with a total of 20 stitches in round 3. Okay, so moving on to round 4, what we're going to do is increase into the first stitch. So 1, 2, and then we're going to just do 1 single crochet into the next stitch. So if you watch my videos, you know that I usually do 1 and then increase, but I read that if you start off with an increase, it actually makes the circle, like it doesn't have any weird like angles to it. So I'm just trying that out. But yeah, so you're going to increase into the first stitch and then single crochet, and you want to repeat that process all the way around until you end up with 30 stitches in total for round 4. So again, it is an increase and then a single crochet. Moving on to our next round, we're going to be increasing into the first stitch. And then you want to single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 to that stitch and then to the next stitch. So you want to repeat that until you end up with 40 stitches in this round. Again, it is a increase into the first stitch and then 2 single crochets, well, a single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So I forgot to mention earlier, but when you come off to the end of this round right here, so I'm just going to do my last single crochet. And I know some people got confused in my other videos, I guess, but you're just going to put your stitch marker back into that, and you're not going to be, as I mentioned before, chaining one or slip stitching. You're just working into your next round. So that is how you end every round. You're just going to just go into the next stitch. Okay, so we just finished round 5, and that was a increase into the first stitch and then a single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and you ended up with a total of 40 stitches in that round. So now moving on to round 6, what we're going to do is increase again. So 2 single crochets into the first stitch, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. And just like we did in every other round, you want to repeat that process all the way through until you end up with a total of 50 stitches in round 6. Okay, so after round 6, this is how big our circle is looking. So because we did a couple rows of increasing, if we continue to increase, our circle wouldn't stay a circle basically. It would be more, you know, flimsy. It would kind of like curve in a little bit. So for round 7, what we're going to do is single crochet all the way around, and you're going to end up, of course, with a total of 50 stitches because all we're doing is single crocheting in round 7. So moving on to round 8, we're going to do a row of increases. So we want to start off with an increase. 1, 2, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to repeat that process all the way through for round 8. You'll end up with a total of 60 stitches. So again, it's an increase, and then you want to single crochet into the next 4 stitches and repeat that. For round 8, you did end up with a total of 60 stitches. For round 9, all we're doing is a single crochet all the way through, so I won't be showing that on camera, but it's a single crochet for round 9, and you will still end up with a total of 60 stitches. Okay, so at this point, if you like for your pillow to be this exact size, you will stop at round 9. To create the thickness, you will need 2 to 3 more rounds of single crochets in this piece, and it's going to start to curve a little bit. So again, if you want it this size, stop at round 9, which is your total of 60 stitches in that round. And then depending on how thick you want it, you're going to be crocheting, as I mentioned before, 2 to 3 more rounds of single crochets. Okay, now after you finish your 2 to 3 rounds, you will be doing a row of double crochets. So for that, I will be showing it later, but because I want to expand it, I'm going to show you just the size comparison. So this is what I made yesterday. Let me just compare these two. So if you want your pillow to be bigger, just keep following my tutorial. But if you're stopping at this size, you can go ahead and skip, and I'll put a time frame of where you can skip to follow the double crochets. But yeah, I just wanted to mention here, if you want to stop, go ahead and stop. If you want to continue to make it bigger, follow me. Okay, so if you decided to expand your circle, what we're going to do is increase into the first round. The first stitch. And then you want to single crochet into the next 5 stitches. Can you hear the squeaking? I don't know how to get that to stop. I think someone mentioned how to not have squeaking, but I can't. And for some reason, it happens during the video, of course. So let's see, how many did I do? So again, it was 2 single crochets into the first stitch and then single crochet into the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you want to repeat that all the way through until you end up with a total of 70 stitches in round 10. So increase into the first stitch and then single crochet into the next 5. So I just finished round 10, and for round 11 all we're going to do is single crochet throughout our entire round, so I will still end up with a total of 70 stitches in round 11. Okay, so moving on to round, 12. For round 12, we're going to increase into the first stitch, 1, 2, and then we're going to single crochet into the next 6 stitches. And this is my 6th one. So of course you guessed it, we're going to repeat that all the way through, and it's going to be again a increase into the first stitch and then a single crochet into the next 6 stitches, so you will end up with a total of 80 stitches in this round. Okay, so after you finish your round of the 80, you will be done expanding. Well, I'm done expanding. If you like to expand more, you can go ahead and do that. But after this, I'm going to do 3 rounds of pure single crochets all the way through so I can create my edge. So again, after you do your round of 80, you just do 3 more rounds of single crochets, so that is a total of 80 stitches in each of those rounds. I am now back after I finished my 3 rounds of single crochets, and as you can see, it now has a slight curve. So if yours doesn't have a curve, you may want to crochet a little bit tighter on your 3 rounds of single crochets. It should naturally curve, but you know, if you realize yours is too flat, go ahead and just crochet tighter. So moving on to your double crochets, if you did skip ahead, hello, what you're going to do now is a row of double crochets. But if you don't want to do a macaroon, and as I showed you earlier, you wanted the simple route, you don't need to do a row of double crochets. Just do your second piece, and when you attach it, all you're doing is single crocheting it closed. So that is if you want the simple route. If you want your macaroon, we're going to move on to our double crochets now. So for our double crochets, what you're going to do is yarn over your hook, and we're only working in the back loops. So this is the front piece because it's facing me, and then the back, I'll just go straight in the middle to the back. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull through. So I'll show you that one more time. You want to yarn over your hook, go into the back loops only. You have 3 loops, yarn over, and pull through all 3. So again, just crochet that a little bit tighter so you can make sure you have the curve, and then that's all you're doing for this round, and it's going to be the last round with white yarn, a double crochet all the way through. So I just finished my round of the double crochets, and this is what it looks like. So this is your first piece. You do need 2. So I have already went ahead and I made my 2 pieces. For my second piece, I'm going to do the filling. So I'm using pink for strawberry. I like strawberry filling. So go ahead and use whatever color you like. And to attach it, I just tied my pink yarn to my white, and now I will continue with my next round. So for my next round, what we're going to do is, again, we're working with the pink yarn, and we're going through the back loops again, but with going through the back loops, all we're doing is a single crochet. So here's the back loop. I'm going in to do my single crochet with my pink yarn, and that is how it's going to look. So go ahead and single crochet all the way through in the back loops only with your pink yarn so we can get started with our filling. So I'm now near the end of my first round with the pink yarn. I'm going to take out this stitch marker here, and as you can see I have 2 with the white because of the way that I personally color change. That's just how it is. My friend's going to teach me how to color change, so hopefully that will help me. Sorry that I don't see her till Thursday though. But for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease in this round just so I can go ahead and close this up. And to decrease, I'm just going through, I'm not going to do any back loops, it's just going through the regular stitch. And I will be going through that first stitch, yarning over and pulling through. Then I'll do the same thing to the next stitch. Now I will yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So that's how it's going to look with the way I color change. If you know how to do it differently, go ahead and do that. So I'm putting my stitch marker back in, and for my second round with the pink yarn, it's still going to be a single crochet, but I'm doing nothing with the back, the front loops. It's just going to be single crocheting normally. So I'm going into this stitch and I'll single crochet. So I'll continue doing that until I reach the end of this round. Okay, so while I'm crocheting, I just wanted to have a little chat, but has anybody ever made macaroons? I've tried to make them, I probably made them over like 10 to 20 times, and it just never turns out perfect. I feel like I end up wasting a lot of ingredients because I can never get the lifting part right. And it just, you know, it tastes fine, but I can tell like something just went wrong, and it's probably because I'm over mixing the egg whites or something. But yeah, has anybody ever made them? And was it easy for you? I've tried the Oreo ones and I followed a YouTube tutorial, but you know, actually the Oreo ones, it tastes good, but man, what is up with me? I even measure it correctly. I don't know why it's turning out wrong. I feel like a tiny bit of over mixing can just get that lifting part to not look perfect or the way that you want it, you know? Again, I don't know what the term of that is, but you know, that part I double crocheted is what I'm talking about. Like I can never get that to properly cook right. But yeah, let me know. Have you ever tried it? So I just finished my last round of the pink yarn. If you want to make your filling a little bit thicker, go ahead and just do one more round, but I'm gonna stop here. So to attach this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be slip stitching the pieces together. If you know a different way to attach items, go ahead and do that and let me know, because this is my second time making it, so this is just what I came up with. So I want to take my hook and I'm gonna go through the front piece. Okay, well, so my piece right now, I'm looking at it like where it's going to be stuffed. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to take that front piece. So I'm not going through the entire stitch, just the front one. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through both loops. So I'll do that one more time. So I'm going to go through my pink yarn, the front piece of my white, pull the yarn through all of the pieces. So again, I'm going through my pink yarn, the front piece of my white, pull the yarn all the way through. It's going to be a little bit difficult in the beginning because, you know, only a couple pieces are holding it together, but once you get like halfway, you'll be fine. So again, I went through my pink, going through the front piece of the white, yarning over, no yarning over, sorry, pull through all of the loops. Okay, so again, going through the pink, the front piece of my white. Oh wait, you do pull yarn, so that's technically yarning over. But remember, it's not a single crochet, it's just slip stitching. So putting my hook through the pink again, front of the white, pulling the yarn all the way through, and that's how it looks. So I'm going to continue to do that until it's about more than halfway closed, and then I'll stuff it. Okay, so this is where I'm currently at. This is the opening I left, and I'm just going to stuff this piece and then continue closing this up. Okay, so I just finished my last slip stitch, and to finish off, I want to, you know, cut off the yarn, and then I'm going to take this piece, go through, and just secure it that way. And then I'm gonna do that, well, I'm gonna secure it a couple more times and then stuff it right into the pillow. But for the rest of the video, I think I'm gonna have to actually do 2 parts because I still need to show you how to do, of course, the flowers, the horn, the ears, and then the face. So I will have to split this up. So I'll see you in my next video for the rest of the unicorn.